following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lord. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Now, your hosts, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, Everson Walls, and Bill Jones.
And it's Tuesday, December 31st, 2019, the last day of 2019, and the waiting game continues here inside the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco. This is today's Jason and Jerry pregame show.
Very good, Bill.
Welcome to the pregame show.
I haven't seen any smoke come out of any window on the second floor up there.
Okay.
No people flying out of the windows.
Oh,
No.
a Vatican reference, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no one's
been thrown
out,
window
right?
either. Yeah.
And so here we are to discuss what's going on with this team as it's day number 2 of the 2020 offseason for this team.
New decade.
Well, yep, that's exactly right.
That's tomorrow. Yep.
It is tomorrow. Mickey, when we end this show, Mickey, do not say we'll see you next year or see you next decade, okay?
How many decades have you lived for now, getting into 2020?
He's a distractible player.
Yeah, we only got 45
No,
minutes.
I just dismissed your joke, that's all.
All right, and again, supposedly Jason and Jerry are set to meet for a second straight day here at the Star in Frisco. Yesterday, Jason said the meeting would start around noon, and it started about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And so we'll see if today's noon meeting starts at noon. And
Well, it wasn't up to Jason anyway.
that's exactly
So, yeah,
right.
I think that's
We're
the
on
point.
Jerry time here. Yeah.
And if he hasn't finished his player interviews, postseason interviews, that it may not start at noon.
Right.
I don't know why everybody gets this noon thing.
High noon.
Yeah, I think
Just got a stopwatch on it.
Yeah.
So what, you think
All right, it's
he's-
noon. Get in my office.
What is he saying? Goodbye to everyone? Is that what you think it is? I mean, what is
You
the
mean
delay?
the interviews?
I'm talking about just Jason. What
Well,
is the
didn't
delay?
they do that with you guys when at the end
Exit
of the
interviews
season? You
after
did
the
exit
season?
My
interviews?
exit interview was with you guys. Okay, I remember that.
Every
okay?
season?
You remember? No, I'm talking about
No,
with
I
Jimmy
meant-
Johnson.
No,
yeah.
I meant
with
okay.
Coach Landry.
Coach
I meant at
Landry?
the end of the season when you were still on the team.
Oh no exit interviews.
They
We
didn't
have
do
any
that with you?
No, we did not.
I wonder,
we're
I
out
wonder
of
who
there.
started that.
I wonder
I
when
don't
that
know.
started.
I don't know.
Not even when you were at the Giants or anything?
No one does exit interviews then. That was back in the 90s.
Yeah,
80s and
that
90s.
was 30 years
Nobody
ago.
cared
Yeah,
about
right?
that. We didn't do exit. I don't
What about
recall,
physical?
I don't recall one exit interview. Yeah, your physical was okay.
There's a purpose in that.
And I just remember cleaning out my locker. And even when the season was over, it wasn't that
Yeah.
I was leaving, but the season was over. You clean out your locker, take some stuff home because you're not going to be there almost every day looking at the other guys instead of looking at your family. So yeah, that was it. That was the exit right there.
Did you use garbage bags back then
We did
too?
not use
Okay.
garbage bags. No. We just had bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
we didn't have the walk of shame. There was no walk of shame or anything like that. Yeah.
But what Jason has done at the end of every season as the head coach is...
And they've done that, all the head coaches that I've seen.
And the assistant coaches meet
Yeah.
with their position group, the players as well, Those are the quote-unquote exit interviews at the end of the
But
season.
if you have no contract, then why are you interviewing people?
Well, I
you
think
have no contract. So how does that
Technically,
interview
he is
go?
still under
So he's
contract.
interviewing Jerry. Jerry's giving him his exit interview. Is that what's going on?
And the thing that has puzzled
I'm just
fans,
trying to figure this out.
the things that puzzled fans or media, whoever, is that the Browns and Giants went ahead and made moves, and they
Freddie's
didn't
out.
allow coaches to do exit interviews and all
Yeah.
that. They go ahead and made a change. So we'll see what they do.
But those teams
But-
had already exited. They could have done the interviews last week.
That's
That's
true.
very true. That's very
That's true. They weren't
you want to
playing
say
for
about the
anything on
Cowboys,
Sunday.
that was not the case.
Yeah.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
good, Mick.
Yeah. So then what is the purpose of Jerry meeting with Jason, you think?
Well, I guess they're going to talk. Look, I don't think this is easy for Jerry.
There's no doubt about it.
And I think I said it yesterday, but in the broadcast on Sunday, Troy Aikman was exactly right. He said the last thing Jerry Jones wants to do is not have Jason Garrett as his head coach. Mm-hmm. And that was before we knew the end of the season. So, and he's right. This is not going to be easy for Jerry to call him in that office after all these years and say, okay, this is what I decided. Now,
because when he made this hire in 2011, I'm sure he was expecting it to be his last hire.
He was hoping it was a Tom Landry.
That's true.
Right.
Tenure.
Because he was Tom Landry-like.
Right.
Very corporate, even-tempered. You won't see him flying off the handle. That's kind of what Jerry wanted. He wanted someone that would mimic Tom Landry as opposed to Jimmy Johnson, I guess. He didn't want that. He didn't want that guy.
Maybe he pulls a Clint Murkison and comes out and says, "I just signed him a new 10-year deal."
But people have to remember this relationship goes back over 25 years, really farther than that, because Jim Garrett has been a huge part of this organization too. I mean, there's a close relationship, a close bond here.
A comfort zone.
Yeah.
There's definitely a comfort zone.
Like Mick said, this is not easy.
Here's the other part
relationship, right? To a person that you don't know nearly as well as you knew Jason Garrett, of course.
Here's the other part of it. Supposedly, Jason's contract doesn't expire until January 14th. Okay,
you get 2 weeks after the last game.
Right.
Although there's been conflicting. Does anybody really know?
Jay Glazer said Wednesday, but then when you think about it, Wednesday's January 1st. He's probably saying 2020. But I think you're right. Where you get 2 weeks.
I mean, why would it expire Wednesday if you were still playing this week?
Well, why would it expire January 14th if you're still in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm. No, he's saying that 2 weeks after your season ends.
Game.
Yeah. So, but beyond that, I think that there is value in Jerry picking Jason's brain about this team, this coaching staff, and so forth. Okay, as the season is going on. All right, you are not looking at the broad perspective on, okay, what is this coach like? What is that player like? Okay, because they've got 25 unrestricted free agents. Jerry and Steven have to make decisions on, do we bring this player back? Do we do whatever? You're respectfully talking with Jason. And the other part of it is, remember when Bill Parcells left and Jerry interviewed 10 candidates? And one of the reasons for doing that, and a lot of teams do this, is they bring as many candidates as possible from as many organizations in so they can pick their brain on how they run things in Carolina or with the Rams or whatever. Or you pick their brains on specific players. It might be free agents. This may be Jerry's way of having Jason interview for his job, and to hear what he has to say about the team and about the way things have happened here. There are things that maybe go on a coaching staff that Jerry and Steven don't know about. That is, you don't really know about what a person is like on a coaching staff until you work alongside them. Okay, when you hired a certain coach, maybe that coach. You felt good about him, but then you work alongside him for a couple of years, 4 years, whatever, and the guys on the inside say, "Wait, that was a problem." Those are types of things that Jerry can find out meeting with Jason. And I don't know that right now it looks like Jason may not be a part of this organization, but who knows on down the road,
The only reason I disagree with that is because with the issues they've been having doing different stretches, I would think Jerry has already addressed a lot of that about the team.
Right.
I'm
just presenting possibilities.
No doubt. And that's the only one I disagree with because I would imagine he wasn't going to wait till the end of the season to evaluate his players. Right. He was trying to reevaluate when we went 3-0. Then all of a sudden we start tanking.
Right.
So I'm sure. It's
the perspective
what
of
kind
why
of
did
team
things
do
go
we
wrong?
have exactly?
Yeah.
Where did it go wrong? I'm sure they addressed that already, probably right after Thanksgiving.
Right.
I'm sure after Thanksgiving that was addressed, or even the 3-game stretch of games in 12 days. So I would imagine they already have that together. So to me, it still seems like a another issue. I don't think that is the issue.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I disagree on that. Yeah.
You know, the thing on the assistant coaches, though, is valid, I think. Maybe and here's the other thing. I'm sure people are thinking, well, Jason Garrett's so mad, he's just going to pack up his bags and storm out the door. And that's not Jason, right? He will complete the job as they would every other year. And you don't burn any bridges. Who knows? You're 60 years old, you're not coaching, and, oh, you need a scout? Yeah, I still would like to do some work, right? And so, yeah.
Do you think Jerry wants to see Jason Garrett coaching the New York Giants?
No.
I do not think that either.
That's a nightmare. If he were to move on and go somewhere like that within the division and have immediate success, there's another reason why you make the Giants come to you and ask permission to talk to your coach. Then he's still under contract to you, or you they can wait until January 15th to talk to him. You know,
I'll make you a deal. You can't talk to Jason, but you can talk to Chris Richard.
Well, that's a possibility.
Which is apparently happening on Thursday.
That is definitely a possibility. Yes.
Yeah. So.
And he didn't have to. And I think Chris probably still under contract. So. You know, he didn't have to let him do that, but when it's a head coaching job.
Now, is Richard's contract up, or you're saying he's under contract just as Jason is for the rest of this contract?
And even if it was up, he would still have 2 weeks, and so they can come and ask permission.
And he's a coordinator. He can go interview for a head coaching job if he's under contract or what.
Is he a coordinator?
Well, he's a
passing game coordinator.
He's not.
Well, I think there's a fine line there.
He's a pass game coordinator. But regardless, he's an assistant coach. He can go interview for a head coaching job.
So coordinator or not.
Coordinator or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, otherwise, anything below head coach considered a lateral move.
He could not go interview for the defensive coordinator position with the Giants.
Well, I'm, just as a black man, be proud for the hire. That would be great. Be great for the Rooney Rule and say everything's working out. But the coaching that he did here, I don't know if he was how can I say? I don't know if he was his decisions may have been trumped, by the senior coach here. But I did not see a good product.
On
did
defense.
Not see a good product that he was coaching.
It was interesting, and Mickey and Rob, you might.
He's about to lose all his DBs, if I'm not mistaken.
More insight on this. It was last season where much was made about the fact that Chris Richard is now calling the game. During the game,
right?
Okay, and that Marinelli working hand in hand with him. We didn't hear as much about that or any about that this year.
I don't think anybody asked,
right?
But I assume that's what was still happening.
Yeah, I think he still had a lot of input on it, and even little things like
more pressure.
Well, there's more pressure that comes with it for sure, and Rod actually, these Thursday during the week where the coordinators speak. Rod gave Chris the opportunity to do that now and represent the defense alongside Kellen Moore every Thursday with the media. I mean, he wants him, to be able to be visible and in position to eventually take the next step.
Or is he just old and don't feel like doing that crap? How about
Probably
that?
a little bit of both.
Tired of you guys.
You don't think that, young fella. You're the rookie.
You take responsibility for this.
Probably a little bit of it. No,
I'm too old for this crap. Yeah.
It's like, Chris, fix this stuff. Well, I'll tell you the other thing we didn't hear.
You got a good defensive performance. I'll talk to the media this week. You talk to him after the.
I got this one, Chris.
And here's the other thing we didn't hear so much about. Remember at the beginning of the season, the first 6-8 games, it was all about Kellen Moore calling plays, and now the last part we didn't hear much about.
Not
Kellen
much
Moore
about that
calling
at all.
plays.
Jason,
right?
you didn't know Jason was calling the plays the last.
I think he was making some suggestions, by the way.
And that's one thing I saw with Jason Garrett that you don't see with other coaches. I rarely saw him talking on his mic. I rarely saw him speaking words during a ball game unless he's talking to the referee.
He did.
TV
just didn't show it.
Okay.
And it's like the tree in the forest.
Yes.
The camera doesn't catch it. It didn't happen.
Right.
So when Amari Cooper's pouting on the sideline, you get a shot of it, and it's like, oh, is that the way
it'd
he
be nice
always
if I
looks?
could have gotten the shot like that.
Yeah, right? No,
Yeah.
they did. They did. Yeah.
Nice.
The end of the Philadelphia game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Talk to me,
He's
guys.
not in the game. Look at there.
Right. Right.
But this thing with Jason, we'll see what they do. But if they do indeed move on, and it's a day later than everybody expected, what is the big deal?
Right.
No.
I mean,
Everybody just wants the story.
I don't think it stops them from, if they move on looking toward who they want to look toward. I guess just everybody thought this was going to be this quick deal.
Like Freddie Kitchens
like,
and the Cleveland Browns, and then Shermer with the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like in the, what was it? Lane Kiffin on the tarmac, kind of thing.
Right.
Like and
Came off the plane. Sorry, pack your bags.
this is this. We'll see what happens, but this is an unusual circumstance. I think
just
to me,
the
because of the
fans
relationship.
the fans and some of the media just want Jason gone so badly. They're just ready to dump on him as soon as this happens.
And everybody has thought it's a foregone conclusion
That's
ever
right.
since for the
That's
last,
right.
like it was just done, and it's not yet. And we'll see. And again, they nothing official yet. Maybe we get word today. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't hear anything today.
All I got to say is whoever takes the job, the bar's pretty high, buddy. Mm-hmm. Because don't come in here and just tell me you won the NFC East. That's been done, right? Don't tell me you won a first-round playoff game.
And they will win the NFC East next year.
Yeah,
regardless of who the
Eagles
coach is.
will not. They will
Because
be
it's,
not back to
that's
back.
the way
there's
the
a
stats
15-year
go.
there's a
That's the way it
15-year
goes.
track
That's just
record
the way it
that
goes.
the Eagles will not win the NFC East. And
We have had no
and
repeats.
the Cowboys
No
have
repeats.
won it every other year since 2014.
So let me give you perspective. What's the common denominator between 14, 16, 18, and 20? Even numbers, huh?
2020.
Don't give me that odd stuff.
And on that note, we'll try to figure out what Mickey's talking about, and we'll be back with more Talking Cowboys in a moment.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Talkin Cowboys continues here as the waiting game continues. The Cowboy players, some of them still hanging out around here. Some waited to do their exit interviews until today because there was too long a line to get into the offices.
Or they didn't get in time to do their physicals.
There you go. There's all sorts of reasons.
Although 5 of those guys hurried up and signed their futures contract off
That's
that
right.
practice
You got
squad.
that little bit of news there,
Not
Mickey?
off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look it up.
All right, because I'm an intrepid reporter.
Daniel Wise
for you.
We
Daniel
don't
Wise.
need Spags. We
That's
don't
right.
need Spags.
Jordan
man.
Chun.
Yes.
Those are 2 recognizable names.
Right.
All right. Did you ever figure out how to pronounce the tight end's name, Cole Haikutini?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Did it for you.
Yep.
Close enough.
Tight end Tevin Jones, center Marcus Henry, DB DJ White, and that's it.
No Thorson?
Oh, I don't have him on my list. QB Clayton Thorson.
Yes.
Is he on the list?
I did not see his name on the list.
Okay, I guess he's not on the list.
Maybe
then.
he's looking for a different
So all of these guys
opportunity.
were signed.
That's futures contracts.
Futures contracts.
Yeah, which means they'll be in they'll
Part
be in the
of the-
off-season program. If they make it through the off-season program, then they'll be in training camp and they'll be cut on September 1st.
Okay.
Wow. One of 90.
Did you get clarification on Michael Bennett then?
Yeah, he's got a different designation. He's listed as not unrestricted to be or restricted to be. He's just free agent. So I assume that means he could sign.
He could sign a futures deal, right? If he wanted to.
If he wants to keep playing. You know, he's 34. This would be his 12th season. He's bounced around a lot. We'll see what
He
he
can't sign with the team right now for the playoffs, though.
I don't know the answer to that exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you knew, but you were testing Rob.
No.
You know how you get sometimes. You know.
I didn't ask that.
I know the answer.
I didn't already know the answer before you asked the question.
Well, what is the answer then? Do you
I have
know?
no idea. I don't know.
I
This
didn't
is the
ask
first
that
I've learned
question.
of it. Because
Yeah.
I just saw him listed as void. Like his contract was voided.
Well, they did.
Right.
It's
up.
But
it was 2
so
years,
it's
and when they renegotiated, they dropped the last year on the contract.
So let's say he is a free agent. Does he count as an unrestricted free agent in that he would count in the pool where you could get a compensatory draft pick the next year if he
think
signed
not.
someplace?
I
Okay,
think
that's
not.
Yeah, I don't think so
That's
either.
probably the reason for the designation.
It's
Do,
like
do we,
you cut him.
as a Cowboy team, do we want him back? 34 years old, based on his
Awfully productive when he was in there, I thought.
and
What do you think?
you're talking about no preparation. You know, you're just talking about a guy that came in here and immediately we threw him in the mix.
Had a short shelf life the last 4 or 5 teams he's been with for whatever reason.
It sounded like
Seattle, Philly, New England, and here.
and maybe he doesn't want to keep doing that, you know. But it sounded like things went well for him when he was here,
And he is from the East Texas area, so
yeah,
that might be a convenience for him to say, you know what, I'm about to settle down, 34 years old, maybe 35 by the time the season starts. Let me see if I can settle in here, depending on who the coach is, depending on what the Cowboys want to do.
And
He
how
might
much
offer
they
that
want to
them.
pay him.
Exactly.
You know that's what it comes down to, right?
Well, I mean, when you're in your last, you know it's coming around your last year. You just never know what kind of compromise can be made.
Right.
That'd be interesting. I think
Like if I could use another $1 million.
Yeah, just a meal, maybe $1.5 million.
Yeah.
$1.5
And it depends who's going to be coaching this defense.
That's
sure.
definitely the case.
And what defense you're playing.
Yeah.
If he's been around the league that many times, there might be a connection with whoever comes in. You know,
Well,
it
that's
might be
true.
6 degrees with whoever comes in, and
I mean, what
it
if-
might be something positive.
What if Wade Phillips came back here and they were running a 3-4? He may not fit in a 3-4.
Wade ain't coming back.
Oh.
Wade ain't coming
And
back.
if you look, well, not even Wade. If you just look at the personnel on this club, they ain't got 3-4 personnel.
Right, right.
Show me 4 linebackers. 2 of them are big enough to stand on the line of scrimmage and rush the quarterback.
and one's going to have neck surgery, and 2 are impending free agents. And man, you look across this roster.
One might
There's
retire.
a lot of work to do.
One might retire.
Yeah.
Sean, it's possible. Possible.
It sounded like he's leaning towards coming back, but
He said he's more encouraged now than he was last year that he can keep doing this and doing it at a high level. Now, he's going to sit down and talk about it. But I think they want him back if he wants to be back.
Didn't he play 16 games?
16
For the first time.
First
Quite
time.
a while, right?
And
that should be applauded.
Right?
It
because
is.
we have
Bill
we
did
need
for
that.
him.
We need that. There you go.
And he had to serve as a starter those last 5 or 6 games with Van Der Esch out.
Well, he was starting earlier.
And he was
in the base.
Yeah, and but I'm
Snap
not
count was a little bit lower than it was.
That's right. That's right.
And if you notice, though, when it was almost the end of the first quarter that they put Malcolm Smith on the nickel when there was 2 linebackers, and he came out. So I don't know if that was an indication of his ability to chase down in the passing game or whatever.
Or his inability to cover tight ends.
Yeah, because when it was definitely a pat third in a passing situation, he was off the field. That's another case. Malcolm Smith, I'm sure he wants to look and see what's out there, but that wasn't all that bad for a backup linebacker.
No kidding.
And if you look at Sean Lee's career, if he comes back again, if they want him back, then he could be at least a first, second down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like you say, bring in a Malcolm Smith, or maybe we might sign someone else that can really cover on third down and nickel.
And it's good to have him in the locker room.
Good to have him in the locker room.
Same thing with Kai Forbath, too. You might have found yourself a kicker.
Man.
I talked to him, and he's like, well, I'm heading back to L.A., and we'll kind of see what happens. And
he's an L.A. guy.
He didn't. That's where he's from. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't say. He didn't say, well, they told me to stay close or whatever, and so, and he was like, he goes, I did more kicking this year than I would have if I had a full-time job, because you're always training, and then you're going to these workouts, and then you're trying to make sure you're in shape.
Your body's got to be
and
good.
Goes,
no pulled muscles now.
Yeah, and he said I probably kicked more this year than I have in a long time. I said, so when do you kick again? He goes, I'll take probably March, and just back off and get my legs stronger.
Well, I got to say, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Right? I'm hoping he comes back. It's always good to have that field goal kicker that you can count on. 1990 Giants, Parcells was always good with special teams. That was a big thing for him. And he always wanted that kicker that he could rely on. Matt Barr
was the guy,
Matt Barr was the guy. He kicked 5 in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Sent us down to Tampa to beat the Bills. But to me, big kicks are amazing. We had that. But I like
you have
accuracy.
A Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. Mo, me and Matt Barr are best friends. Okay, let's just be real about that. He and I, we kiss when we see each other. That's how much I love this guy. He got me my ring. But when you start talking about accuracy, Forbath was down the middle every time. And that to me, it wasn't just about that he made the field goals. It was the fact that they were true. And when you know they're true, then you have much more confidence in your game plan now. Now you can count on that 40, 45-yarder, 49, 50-yarder even.
Yeah, yep.
And that's what you need. That's what you need. That way you can go forward with your game plan and not have to say, okay, the field goal kickers set us back. We want field goal kickers that are going to advance our cause. And he did it every time he was called upon.
Yeah, it wasn't like us off the tee box, right?
Exactly.
Off the
right.
tee box.
Don't have a gallery while I'm teeing off. Okay, somebody's going to get hit.
Yeah, but back to the defense just real quick, because we talked about Michael Bennett, though, man. You look at – we got a lot of time to get into this, but every level of the defense, they've got major decisions to make. We talked about the linebackers. Robert Quinn's going to be a free agent.
You want me to list the free agents?
Go for it.
Defensive line, Michael Bennett, Robert Quinn, Malik Collins, Christian Covington, Kerry Hyder.
I'm sorry, that's the whole D-line.
There you go.
Antoine Woods is
an exclusive rights free agent.
So
and then Daniel Ross signed to a futures contract. A linebacker, Sean Lee, Malcolm Smith, Joe Thomas, Ray Armstrong, who was here for a day, and Justin March. DBs, Byron Jones, Jeff Heath, Anthony Brown, Kayvon Frazier, C.J. Goodwin, Darian Thompson.
That's a lot of names.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Some impactful guys.
6 DBs, 5 linebackers, and 5 defensive linemen.
That's a lot of names, but from a defense with a lot of disappointments. So what does that do for you? Are they just names? Do we keep them? I'm just.
How talented are these guys?
Yeah, they can be talented all they want. Can they make a play? Can they make a play?
I'm legitimately asking, how talented are these guys? Because coming in the season, this team has so much talent, so to speak,
right?
"Quote unquote" talent. So how much talent was really on that defense?
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say, if you're looking at the defensive line, I mean, what you want back, I mean, you would love to have Quinn back, I think, right? And Malik Collins was sneaky good. It wasn't as great, so it would be interesting what his market value is.
Right.
The rest of the guys.
I like Kerry Hyder as a minimum wage veteran guy.
Yeah, and he's from here, so if he wants to do that again, that's fine. But I'm not expending big bucks.
Exactly.
Resources.
Right.
Yeah, resources. The linebackers, you'd like to have Sean Lee back.
Do you think Sean would be willing to take a pay cut?
Well,
he already took one
this year.
So,
once again,
he halved his salary. He was only making like $2.5 million.
Yeah, so he's already down to where.
So that's about, if you can get him back for that, sure, why not?
The big one to me is Byron Jones, because if the CBA stays in place this spring, then you can still franchise a couple guys. If it has to be Dak and Amari, what does that leave for Byron? Does he go elsewhere, seek a larger deal? And if so, no picks this year, but
last year either.
But he's your most consistent guy, cover man on a secondary that struggled.
And that's what you have to be very sneaky when it comes to cornerbacks and defensive backs. Sometimes not hearing your name is a good thing.
Right.
And there are a lot of times in a ball game where we did not hear Byron Jones' name.
Right.
And that could be good or bad. Depends on if his guy's catching the ball. If his wide receiver hadn't been mentioned as well, which happened more than a few games, then you're looking at a solid player. Now, do you want to invest a lot of money into a guy who can't make turnovers or seems to have an inability to get interceptions, which are just – it's not an ego thing for me. I want to make sure people understand that out there. You guys know.
Just because he had 57 picks in his career.
See, there you go.
Just 57.
Now you got people turning off the mic. But no, well, all it is it's a necessity. That's like saying you have a running back that can't catch a pass. He's limited. Unless, you're not going to look for him to do any type of receiving. So he's a one-dimensional running back. And as far as defensive backs are concerned, if you don't have the ability to hit somebody hard enough to where he fumbles all the time, or you're a guy that punches it out all the time like Ed Reed did all the time, get the interception, you got to come with something else, and I can just cover my guy and stop him from catching touchdowns.
And so here's the other thing on that, too. What's the alternative?
What's the alternative? And then what's the market value for Byron?
And see, and here's another one you might be able to get a good deal on is Anthony Brown, because he missed half the season. So what's he got in free agency to market himself? You might get him on a 1-year prove-it deal. Like, you come back, we need that depth. And I think they missed him. I think they missed him a lot.
I disagree totally. I totally disagree. I thought he was a nice little player. I just didn't think he added anything to the secondary. He was just pretty much what we already had. A guy that was athletic, has no ball presence, has no route recognition, but he's athletic.
Right.
We still need to go out and get a defensive back that can make plays. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's just all there is to it. We've been going out getting these guys, he was on the practice field for 2 years. I don't want to hear all of that crap. We got to get some players in here, man.
That's like I'm sitting there watching Kansas City the other day. And Tyrann Mathieu has made plays in his entire career, going back to grade school. You could see at the combine, he was so much better than anybody on that field at the combine. His ball skills, everything about the way he plays, and he's played like that throughout his career, and he was available in free agency this past offseason. Kansas City scoops him up.
Wasn't a scheme fit here.
Right.
That's what we were told.
Right.
Okay.
And he wasn't a scheme fit in Arizona.
We don't like people that make plays. Is
That's
that
right.
the scheme fit? He doesn't fit into our scheme of not getting interceptions.
But I think he's a classic example of that guy just makes play. And you talk about knocking the ball out. I mean, just he's so instinctive.
These are things that it's instinctive. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bill. Yep. If you've got a guy that's instinctive, you have to be able to know that. If you can see it, then why can't our scouts see it? And don't get me on scouts because I was a freaking free agent coming out of Grambling. So.
I need to show you my big green NFL draft scouting notebook.
Let's not get me in the scouts.
So the bottom line on all these free agents that we just mentioned, there's only a few priority ones that you say, okay, I got to have them back.
I agree with that too.
Right? You don't need to sign 25 guys.
You don't. You don't need to. You could let 2/3 of them go.
Right?
Let's just be real. You can let 2/3 of them go.
I mean, let's be fair. Dak, right?
Yep.
Coop. Pollard's going to test the market.
And even with Cooper, there's a question on Cooper now. I mean, but there are other receivers are going to be on the. What you ask? What's the alternative?
Right.
Yeah. And there are a lot of alternatives.
Wide receivers coming out, and these guys are studs.
Right.
They are studs.
Is Gallup your stud now?
Right. And I like Cobb. I want Cobb back.
Right. Okay.
At his.
Is he a free agent?
Yes.
I got to have Cobb back.
Right.
You got to have him back.
But you got him on a 1-year sweetheart deal.
Yeah, see, I put him in the Quinn category of maybe he gets a bigger offer somewhere else because he had a solid year. We'll see.
Yeah. But he's a year older. But his age is a year older
he's
now.
30.
He's going to be 31.
Right. Yeah, and he's smarter.
He's 29.
So Witten's probably, I think he's going to retire. Cam Fleming, they've got an option. If I can find better, fine. Same thing with Looney. He may be happy here. Suafilo's coming off an ankle surgery. You may get him cheap. So, those are the offensive guys and defensive guys we talked about.
As far as tight ends go, that's another resource that is plentiful coming out of the NCAA.
Yeah.
Which position?
Big tight ends.
The tight ends are starting to come back around,
amazing
right?
tight ends and wide receivers.
Yeah.
Those are the studs that are coming out now. They're plentiful. You don't have to worry about that. You've got a well of resources in that regard. And to me, I don't want to just keep, and I don't want you be disrespectful to these guys. I want people with more instinctive abilities. I don't care about the computer program and how fast they are, how strong they are. Somebody that's been known to make plays when their team needs it. Not just a guy that can go out there when you don't need. I mean, a guy that can go out there and be impactful in almost every game for his college. Hey, that's the kind of player I want.
Mike Evans, what he was to Johnny Manziel, C.D. Lamb was to Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
Just throw it up.
And he made. And you talk about run after catch. I mean,
and and I love C.D. Lamb. I'm OU, but it's a bunch of C.D. Lambs out there.
Exactly.
It's a bunch of them.
That's right. There's two that play for LSU.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right. Mickey's Read is coming up next here on Talkin Cowboys.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One Score, September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
So it's not too late to go to Jack Black and grab the best of 2019. Choose a free travel size of one of this year's best with your $60 plus purchase. And if you want to know what you can get on that, you can get the Pit Boss, Bill, antiperspirant deodorant.
Those windshield
you can
wipers on.
absolutely get that. You can get the Turbo Wash. And by the way, I think I'm going to do this because I'm out of Turbo Wash. Because I need some Turbo Wash. So if you go to getjackblack.com and use the code BEST, and you can shop now.
All right. You know what I love to do on Mickey's Read? I like to distract him in the break before it, and we did a good job of distracting him.
Man. Oh, is that what you did? He snapped.
So I wasn't ready.
And it scares me, man. Because first thing is spittle coming out.
Spittle coming out.
Gotcha!
Don't ever sit in the front row at a play, by the way.
Okay. You get a lot of spittle on you.
Really?
Yes.
Never thought about that.
I experienced it. Yeah, I'm going.
I can see that because they're trying to enunciate and
they're not getting a drink of water. Their mouth's dry, and it's just
a couple of scenes. Yeah. Interesting.
Be careful.
Okay.
Bring an umbrella.
We only have a few minutes left here on Talkin Cowboys.
Hey, by the way, I want you guys to understand the royalty that's with us, because on NFL.com today, they've got a list of the 100 best photos in the National Football League. And the first one is
Mickey Spagnuolo.
Everson Walls. All right. Everson Walls and the catch.
The catch.
Nice.
You're welcome.
I laughed when I saw that. They had all these photos, the one of Y. Tittle on his knees and blood coming down his forehead, and Forrest Gregg with mud all over his helmet and face, but the first one was the catch.
I had another one. It's in the Hall of Fame. Philip Epps and I went against each other. TCU. Fort Worth kid.
That's right.
Talk to him every once in a while. He ran the corner route. I don't know who the quarterback was. Didn't matter. I picked it off, and I was in front of Epps, and he was behind me, and we looked symmetric.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was black and white, so it was very cool. And that was in the Hall
like
of
both
Fame.
of you going up.
They submitted it to the Hall of Fame?
It was in the Hall of Fame for God, that was a long time ago. It was
that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm in the Hall of Fame, guys, just to be real. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm already there.
Don't worry about Bart Starr and the Ice Bowl, all that stuff.
It's Joe Montana and Dwight. God rest his soul, Dwight Clark. Good dude.
All right, last couple of minutes here. By the way, if you were interested in former Cowboys head coach Chan Gailey as the new head coach here?
No, because he just got hired.
Exactly. Chan Gailey is the offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins.
Thank God. I didn't want him here. We didn't want him here, did we?
No.
I mean, I'm hoping we're all on the same page here.
Jack Del Rio. Okay, you want him as a DC? He's going to Washington.
I like Jack.
No, he is. They hired him already.
That's what I'm saying.
For Rivera's staff.
That's what I'm doing here, Mickey.
I would have liked Jack.
Ron Rivera hired him already.
He's not throwing these names out just to throw them out.
I thought he was.
Mickey.
I wanted him as the head coach.
Speculation-wise,
this is a setup to the news of the day. Did you want these people here? Well, you can't have them. Del Rio is going to Washington to be Ron Rivera's DC.
So do you want to play the Browns next year?
Yes.
It's a setup. We never even talked about their opponents for next year, by the way.
Oh, you want to run them down?
Other than the NFC East, Cardinals, 49ers, Browns, Steelers.
Wait. Cardinals, 49ers, Browns, Steelers.
Seahawks, Rams, Vikings, Bengals, and Ravens.
You got home and away there.
The last ones were away. The first ones I did were home.
Do it again, home.
Home. Cardinals, 49ers, Browns, Steelers, Falcons.
Away.
Seahawks, Rams, Vikings, Bengals, Ravens.
What's the record?
Yeah, right. Might as well do it right now.
Let's pick them.
Well, you realize the Cowboys played half the playoff field this season. Mm-hmm. Of the 12 teams, they played 6 of them.
Right?
First place schedule.
They beat the Eagles.
Beat Philly. That's it.
They were 1-6 against the teams in the playoffs. And that's why they're 8-8.
So the two wild card games on there that aren't NFC West or AFC North are
the Vikings and
Saints, Vikings, Saints.
Falcons.
Okay.
Man, so
Falcons finished in second.
you get a
right?
second place schedule, but you got to play Baltimore, San Francisco.
They got the
Seattle.
NFC.
Baltimore on the road,
AFC,
right? Was it
yeah.
Baltimore on the road, San Francisco at home.
But you get Cincinnati,
You do.
Cleveland, Arizona.
And then you got to play the West, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of the division has to play those teams too.
And
well,
by
you
the
know,
way,
we
they-
can't sit from a position of luxury as if, oh, well, those guys,
Right.
they'll be easy. Yeah,
No, no doubt.
They're looking at us like, oh, Cowboys, they'll be easy.
Yeah, the Jets were sitting there
Right.
saying, man, we got to play the Cowboys. There's no way we beat the Cowboys.
Look at it. They lost to Green Bay, New Orleans,
They said that.
Philadelphia,
Yeah, that's what they
Minnesota.
said.
All right, that does it for Talking Cowboys for 2019. Mickey,
Wow.
we'll
That's
see
the
you
end
next
of a
year.
decade.
See you guys, man. 2020 coming up.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?